Hello, 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 hello. My name's Lisa Gray, Lisa R. Gray, and I'm a mother. I'm a counselor. I'm a minister. I'm a chaplain, and I want to talk to you about what happened in my life. You see, my daughter came to me one night and said, "Mom, if I had something to tell you, would you be a mom or would you be a friend?" I was like, hmm? 4 hours later, I found out that her stepfather had been sexually abusing her. Someone I married when my daughter was in the third grade, and now she was in the 10th grade. And I was just in total and complete shock. There was never a time that I didn't believe her, but I was just about consumed with the guilt and with the shame. How could this have happened in my home and I not know about it? I'm a good mother, love my daughter, got 3 children. They're all adults now. I have 2 boys and a girl. Love them all unconditionally. Why wouldn't she have told me this was going on? This, this just did not make any sense to me at all. And I just racked my brain trying to find out, why didn't she tell me? Why didn't she tell me? I had so much guilt, so much shame. It just about consumed me. This was going on in my home. My daughter was being violated over and over again in my home, and I didn't know about it. But I'm the mother. I'm not supposed to know everything. Well, let me tell you. We ended up going to court. He is in prison now for 15 to 40 years, was his sentence. During that time, though, that very difficult time of my life, I went looking for something that could help me to understand and process things from a mother's perspective, from a mother's heart, and I couldn't find anything. There are a lot of child sexual abuse victims now that are starting to talk and they're writing their stories, but that's not where I was. I was not, that had not happened to me. It had occurred in my home to my daughter, but I could find nothing. There was no resources that spoke to a mother's heart. So after the fact, after the healing, after the restoration, after the court case, I said to my daughter, I said, "Nikki, I really think the Lord wants me to write." And she said, "Yeah, Mom, go ahead." So that's what I did. And I want to let you know that I wrote a book and it's called They Don't Tell, Child Abuse from a Mother's Perspective. It doesn't talk about my daughter's abuse, but it does talk about the things that a mother processes. You know, there's a saying when you get on the airplane that if something happens, they're going to let down these oxygen masks. And a mother's instinct is to put the oxygen mask on the child. But that's not what you need to do. First, you have to put something on yourself so that you can breathe again. And then you're in a position to help your child. That's where I was. I was devastated. I was just totally devastated. This had happened, and we were a church family, meaning that he was the organist at the church. We were regular goers, and I loved the Lord. And I could not figure out for the life of me how this could happen. But I'm here to tell you that whatever your story is, that there's help, there's healing, and there's deliverance. And there's complete restoration. And that's what the Lord has done in my life. And because he's done that in my life, because he's restored my daughter, he restored my family, I'm here to tell you that no matter what you're going through, the Lord can restore you. And he will if you let him. There's so many times I said to my daughter, "Nikki, you hold your head up high because you have nothing to be ashamed of." And I'm saying to you, if you're that person that was sexually violated, that you were touched inappropriately, you hold your head up high because you have nothing to be ashamed of. Don't walk around being the victim. Don't walk around with guilt and shame that's not yours. Don't play into the enemy's hands because it's a lie from the pit of hell. These people are highly deceptive, and that's all they do. They target people. And I have no doubt that my daughter and myself were targeted. But I'm here to tell you that he didn't win. And he doesn't have to win with you. Whatever your circumstances are, whatever you're going through, you can survive and you can thrive. You can be in the same situation that Nikki is. She's a nurse. She's on her way to get married. She's happy and she's restored. And there's only one way that happened, and that was because of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm here to tell you that the Lord will heal whatever your trauma may be. But I do want you to know that we need to start talking about this. Because what happens is when people don't talk about it, it perpetuates. It gets perpetuated. When we were in the court process, do you know a grown woman came to my daughter and told her, me too, that this same man had molested her? And Nikki said, Mom, if she had said something, this wouldn't have happened to me. And I said to her, you're right. But just know that you're doing something that will prevent any other little girl from being touched. We have to expose the enemy. We have to come out and let what was done in the dark be shown in the light. And until we do that, it continues to perpetuate. Sometimes generation after generation after generation. Don't let that happen to you. It's time to talk about it. My book is called They Don't Tell: Child Abuse from a Mother's Perspective. And I've been going around the country and talking about it, and the stories that people tell me. Nikki's not the only one that was been abused. So many people are keeping that secret. They haven't told anybody. They've not released it. They're walking around still wounded. And my prayer is that you don't do that. Don't walk around wounded. You have to expose that devil, expose that lie. You're going to have to tell somebody. And if you don't tell somebody, not only does it still affect you, but it leaves the next person to be victim. Let's talk about it. It's time to tell your story. We're telling ours. So you can take a look at us on Facebook. We're under They Don't Tell. Our website is lisargray.com if you're interested in getting the resources. But it's time to start talking. Remember, hold your head up high. You have nothing to be ashamed of.